Hi, everybody. I guess we hop right into chapter 2. My viewpoints on ethics, I would say, are pretty closely related to how the text describes it. Something I don't know if I don't agree with, or I don't know. The ethical matrix, how it has, you know, good and bad, means and an end. I think that's a pretty accurate way to break it down, but I do think that within, the good and the bad, there is so much room for interpretation, and it's very subjective. So I guess it comes down to each individual's ethics, how they view the good or the bad. I would definitely say my views on ethics have changed over time. When I think back to, my first job when I was 16, 17 years old, I was very easily, persuaded. I would, show up late, leave early, take a little something here or there, and not really think anything about it. It was kind of just the norm. Other people did it. I didn't think past that, and I think to myself today, I would view a lot of what I did as very unethical, even just to show up late or leave early, but, claim the incorrect time. I would say that's a form of stealing. I would never take anything from a workplace now because I would view that as unethical. I've grown, I've learned more, I've experienced more things in my life, and I think all of those have an impact on who we are and how we view things. In terms of ethical issues in the workplace, things to be aware of. In the text starting on page 49 and going over onto page 50, there's a list, a typology of ethical lapses, and it includes stealing, lying, fraud and deceit, bribes, payoffs and kickbacks, hiding versus divulging information, cheating, personal decadence, interpersonal abuse, organizational abuse, rule violations, abetting unethical acts, and moral balance. I think all of these are very much alive in almost every workplace that you could encounter. And all of these, too, they tie into, the social networking and the generational differences. Within the generational differences, you might have one generation who doesn't even, use any form of social media or social networking, and another generation where that's all they do. And so in the workplace, the younger generation maybe who's using social networking, that opens them up to a whole slew of possible problems, including, which it states on page 51, misuse of work time, misuse of company equipment, security risks, disclosure of confidential or other non-public information, conflicts of interest, unfair competition, espionage or fraud, privacy, damage to reputation. So all of those definitely tie into problems in the workplace. I believe the question regarding the case studies referring to page 61, the real world case study regarding the merger of United and Continental Airlines, and the magazine article that came out with the headline, "Let's Get It On." The ethical issues presented in that case that were also discussed in the text, I think, go back to the source ethics, the receiver ethics, and society ethics. Regarding that case study, the source ethics, the ones that were presenting the message, initiating the communication, they obviously have a different idea about what's acceptable and what is ethically okay. The receiver ethics, the people who, or the ones who had a problem with it, who didn't like it, they have a different set of ideas about what is ethically okay, as well as society. Ones who maybe it doesn't even impact them, but they saw it or they have an idea about it, what they're going to do with the information. So when something like that comes out and everyone has their own idea about it, you're having different ideas, different viewpoints, different ethics, different morals, all trying to be right. I would say in regarding question 5, in such a complex case as the case study, ethical issues could be addressed through the human performance improvement model, where human performance improvement professionals would start by analyzing performance gaps between ethical lapses and where organizations should be in terms of ethical communication. That's on page 60. I think definitely there was a breakdown there somewhere where individuals thought it would be okay and apparently it wasn't. And so by analyzing these organizations that put that out, they could try to find the problems and address them. All right, well, I think that's all I have for this week. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Sorry if I rambled a little bit. All right, bye-bye.